All right, what's up, everybody? This is Danny Mathematics again with another example to explore. Today, we're gonna go over example 2 and example 3. I'm gonna do both in this particular video of how to solve quadratic equations. And remember, a quadratic equation is just a second degree polynomial, meaning that the highest degree is 2. The highest degree is 2, right? Like, for example, the highest degree here is x to the second power, which is 2. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with the first example. And our mission, guys, is to solve for x. In order to solve for x, we're gonna use the quadratic formula, right? And we're trying to find out what two values, right? Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2 values. Most of the time it's 2 values. What 2 values can x be in order to make this equation true? So that's what we're gonna find out, all right? So in order to do that, guys, the first thing we need to do is we need to move all of the components of the equation on one side, right? So I need to move this 30 to the same side as all of the other components of the equation. So in order to do that, guys, the opposite of positive 30 is negative 30. So I'm gonna have to subtract 30 on both sides. Cross this out, I'm gonna subtract 30 over here. Okay, so now I'm gonna have a new updated equation, right? Which is 4x squared minus 19x minus 30 equal 0. Okay, so now that is my updated equation, okay? Now what we're gonna do is now we're going to actually identify the values of A, B, negative B, and positive C that's within the quadratic formula, right? And then A is just the coefficient of x to the second power, so A is actually 4. So I'm gonna make a little key on the side so I can always keep my values. A is 4. B is the coefficient of x to the first power, so B is negative 19. But if you notice in the formula, we also have a negative b. So if positive b is negative 19, then negative b is positive 19, okay? Very, very important. And then the last part, guys, is C. C is just a constant at the end, or the y-intercept, which is negative 30. So I'm gonna set C as negative 30. All right, so I've created my small little key full of values. All right, so now all we need to do, guys, is just plug in these values into the quadratic formula. So I'm starting off with negative b. Negative b is a positive 19. So I'm gonna have 19 plus or minus the square root of, I have a positive b squared. Positive b is negative 19. So that's gonna be negative 19 squared. Negative 19 to the second power minus 4 times A. A is a positive 4. So times 4, which is A, and then times C, which is negative 30. So that's going to be negative 30. All right? All divided by 2 times A, which is 4. So 2 times 4. All right, so now we have successfully plugged in all of our values where they need to go. So I just want to just check one more time, make sure everything is updated and correct. It is. All right, so now we're just going to start simplifying. I'm going to have 19 plus or minus still the square root of negative 19 squared, just like saying positive 19 squared. So that equals 361. So I'm gonna have 361 here, okay? And then negative 4 times negative 30 is a positive 480, So it's gonna be plus 480, right? All divided by 2 times 4 is 8. So all divided by 8. So now we need to actually add 361 to 480 and then find the square root of the answer. So we're gonna have 361 plus 480, that's 841. And then if I square root that, that's 29. So the square root of 841, which that's what this equals, the square root of that is 29. Okay, so now guys, we're just gonna have 19 plus or minus 29 divided by 8. Okay, and then you notice guys, we have two different operations, meaning that x can be two different values. Okay, so we're going to utilize those operations to find out the two values of x. So let's go ahead and start. So the first x, I'm going to use the plus sign. So the first x is going to be 19 plus 29 divided by 8. So let's do that first. 19 plus 29 divided by 8. Okay, and then the second x is going to be 19 minus 29 divided by 8. Okay, so now we're going to find out the two values of x. So 19 plus 29, 19 plus 29 is 48, and 48 divided by 8 is 6. So x equals 6. That's the first possible value of x that will make this whole equation true, 6. And let's do the second one. 19 minus 29 is a negative 10. And negative 10 divided by 8 equals negative 1.5, right? Or what we can do is we can just do this. We can just leave it as a fraction. So once again, we can just say negative 10 over 8. And we can actually simplify that, and that would be an actual negative. And we can actually simplify that to negative 5 over 4. All right, so we're going to simplify that to negative 5 over 4. Or if you want to use it as a decimal, guys, it would be negative 1.25. All of this equal. Okay, so all of that is the same answer. It's just different forms of that same answer. Okay, so once again, either you can use negative 5 over 4, or you can use the decimal version, negative 1.5. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to utilize one of these values of x, and I'm going to plug it inside the equation to prove that it makes the equation true. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 6 because 6 is an easier number to use. So I'm going to have 4 times x squared, which is 6 squared. So it's going to be 4 times 6 squared minus 19 times x, which is 6, equal 30. Okay. 6 squared is 36, and 36 times 4 is 144, I believe. Let me check. Yep, that's 144. Minus, and then now we're going to do 19 times 6, which I believe that's 114. Let me see. Oh, calculator's not working, so let me just use anything. So 19 times 6, I just want to make sure. Yes, 114, I was correct, so that's 114. Okay, and then if I subtract 114 from 144, I will get 30. I will get 30. So this proves that these two values of x are true. All right, so once again, x can either be 6, or it could be negative 5 over 4, or negative 1.25, the decimal form. All right, so the next example, we're going to do the same thing. We have 14x plus 3 equals a negative x squared. Negative 8x squared. 14x plus 3 equals a negative 8x squared. What we need to do is move everything on one side. So this negative 8x squared needs to move over here. So I'm going to do plus 8x squared plus 8x squared So now I have the new formula of the equation, which is 8x squared plus 14x plus 3 equals 0. Okay. All right, same method as last time, guys. We're going to utilize the quadratic formula. So remember, the a, b, and c are the coefficients and the constants within the equation. So a is the coefficient of x to the second power, which is 8. So a is 8. B is a positive 14. So if b is a positive 14, negative b is negative 14. Okay, and then c is just a constant of 3. So c equals 3. All right, so once again, guys, we're just gonna plug in those values inside of the quadratic formula. We're gonna simplify the formula to find out the two values x could possibly be. All right, so we're gonna start off with negative b. Negative b is negative 14. This is gonna be negative 14, excuse me, plus or minus the square root of positive b squared, which is 14 squared. So it's gonna be 14 to the second power, minus 4 times a, which is 8. So times 8, times c, which is 3, times 3. All over 2 times 8, which 8 is 8. All right, so we have successfully plugged in our values. We just need to keep going to simplify. So I still have a negative 14 plus or minus, all right, love that. Negative 14 plus or minus, all right, 14, the square root of 14 squared is, let me get my calculator. All right, 14 squared is 196. And negative 4 times 8 times 3, let's find that out. Negative 4 times 8 times 3 is a negative 96. So that's going to be minus 96. All over 2 times 8 is 16. So all over 16, right? All right, we can just simplify from here. 196 minus 96 equals 100. And the square root of 100 is 10, right? The square root of 100 is 10. So now we can simplify that down to negative 14 plus or minus 10 over 16. Okay, we have simplified it to that, right? So remember, guys, we got these two operations. So the first x, to find out the value of the first x, we're gonna do negative 14 plus 10 over 16. So I got negative 14 plus 10 over 16. All right, and then the second one, guys, I'm gonna subtract 10 from negative 14 and then divide by 16, right? So let's go ahead and put that. Negative 14 minus 10. I believe our answers will be fractions. So I'm actually just gonna do my operations without the calculator. So negative 14 plus 10, right, is a negative 4. It's a negative 4, I'm gonna write it in blue. So it's gonna be a negative 4 over 16, right? It's gonna be negative 4 over 16. We can simplify that if we divide by 4. So it will be negative 1/4. All right, so this is the first possible value of x, negative 1/4. Okay, and then now let's do the second one. Negative 14 minus 10 is just like adding two negatives. So that will be a negative 24, a negative 24. Okay, over 16. Now, if we divide by 8, right, Negative 24 divided by 8 is a negative 3. And then 16 divided by 8 is a positive 2. So guys, these are the two possible values of x. Negative 1/4, negative 3 over 2. Those are the two possible values of x. Thank y'all so much, guys, for tuning in. I will upload some more videos soon. Thank you.